Now this water has finally settled down, and it's getting back to like it was before we had that big flash rain. So now I can go back and follow some of these ditches, and I'll find these places where I'll find these natural pinch points, and I'll show you here in a minute what I'm talking about. But you may have to put in some extra walking, but you got two choices. You can either find these natural spots, or you can try to fence off a place in these creeks, but it's a lot easier when that water is down. If you put in the work and do a little extra walking, you can find these kind of spots that I'm talking about here. Let me show you what I'm saying. These are the type of places I can drop a 330 conibear in there. I can catch coon, beaver, and otter. And there's another place over here. There's actually three places on this ditch as it narrows down and comes out of this swamp. Plus there's a big den tree right there as well. But these are the kind of places that you can get an advantage and narrow them down to a smaller runway. It's a perfect spot. Beaver otter location here. Cold day, got them moving a little bit. I think some of these footholds may be frozen, but I'll walk down beside this beaver lodge here and peeked over the edge of this bank. I can see I got a catch down here. It's awful dark. It may be an otter. I've got one other conibear to check, but see if we can shimmy down this bank here and see what we got. Well, these bank dens, these otters will use these bank dens right along with these beaver. That may be why I'm not catching that many beaver. These otters may be harassing all the beavers that try to come in here. So I'll take an otter. I'm getting paid to catch beaver, but you'll pick up an otter when you're out going after beaver. I've got one other trap to check, so I'm going to go over there and see if there's anything in that other conibear and go ahead and remake this set. But 25 degrees, and I'm going to keep putting in more sets, and we'll see what happens now that this water's kind of settle back into its banks. It's a catch, I'll take it. Well, that was the only catch of the day, but 25 degrees and the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. But I'm going to keep putting in more sets and try to cover some other areas where these little small ditches are leading in some of these little Tupelo gum breaks. I'll eventually cut them off. Not a whole lot of beaver sign, but there's always a chance of catching an otter. And some of these beavers that are moving around from place to place, I can pick them up before they settle into some of these other lodges over here on the lake. There's all kind of bank dens up and down through there. Now the water's down, you can see where some of the holes are. So they'll use those bank dens when that water gets up. So they'll move from place to place, and I'll just have to keep these sets working. Hopefully this weather will stay cold. It's been awful. We're able to pick up a nice pale otter. Got a little skinning to do. I'll get something to eat. Go back and start making some other sets. I got a few places that I scattered yesterday that I want to drop some snares in. So we'll get right back to work. It's going to stay in the 20s, I know, for the next 2 or 3 days. So while we got some good cold weather, I'm going to go after them a little bit harder. And we'll see what we can pick up. I followed this creek that I had some snares on, where I've been picking up a few beavers, and followed all the way out to where it comes into this main river. But this river's finally trying to settle down a little bit. It was out of its banks. You can see now that it's kind of settled back down. Maybe I can start catching these beavers on these crossovers on these dams again. Sometimes it's not about the money, if you know what I mean.